So you guys, today's YouTube video is going to be how I started my vending machine business. And everybody wants passive income. Well, I would say most people. Most people want passive income. If you guys don't know what passive income is, basically when you're getting paid anytime, anywhere, and you don't have to physically be there to be getting money. People gonna think it's easy until you in it. People be treating YouTube and their real life like social media, and it's not. Today I'm gonna tell y'all how I really started, how much money I invested, and the good and the bad that came with it. If you guys are new to my channel, what is up? It is Red, back again with another video. So the reason why vending machines appealed to me, why I gravitated towards them, is because I always wanted a business. And to me, that was a good startup business to where you can use that money, save it up, and then go open up another business or a better business, you know? I was never going to do some businesses for the rest of my life. People don't understand. Some people do businesses so that way they can run up some money and then go use their money for a bigger and better business and stuff like that. So that was my initial plan. You know, I wanted financial freedom. I wanted passive income, and I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. I loved waking up in the morning and I have money in my bank account. That I would go work my 9 to 5, look in my business bank account and see I got money from my business. Like it's a feeling like no other. And the fact that you're literally making money in your sleep, you're making money for not being there, you're making money while you're traveling, that is a pro. If you ever heard the saying of, I want my money to work for me, that's, yeah. So before I started doing the vending machine business, I did research. I did a lot of research, I'm not gonna lie. I did it for at least a year straight, where every single day I was watching vending machine videos. I was literally researching a lot. I was in Facebook groups, I was in Reddit groups, and because of personal trial and error, because if you guys don't know, I had actually bought my very first vending machine in I think it was 2022. Either 2021 or 2022, I bought my very first vending machine. It was literally $400. I bought it. And when I bought it without the keys. And I didn't think twice about it. I didn't realize how hard it was to get certain vending machine keys. And it's an older vending machine. That's another thing. When I was getting into this business, even though I was watching a lot of stuff on it, I did not necessarily realize that this was an old version of a vending machine. So there was no way for me to get the keys. And there was no way for me to open it unless somebody has to come and drill the lock, and then, you know, put another lock in there for me to get it. And then plus, I was just like, it just doesn't matter anymore. Like, I just gave up on that shit because it was too many fucking problems that I would have to fix with the vending machine and stuff like that too, you know? So I just was just like, you know what? I'm gonna wait until I make some money to where I can do that in the future. Boom, 2024 happened, and my boyfriend was just like, you know, he had money or whatever the case may be. So he wanted to invest into a business idea that I had. And I told him I wanted to do vending machines. He was like, okay, but I gotta watch some videos on it. I showed him some videos on it. He liked it, he didn't mind. And he spent $7,000 on 2 vending machines, and they were new. But like I said, you guys, if you watch the vending machine video and stuff like that, y'all would see that the person that had our vending machines in the warehouse had actually switched out our vending machines with very, very used vending machines, and they barely worked. And that is how our vending machine business kind of failed at a certain extent, because we were doing business with shady owners, shady warehouse people, like people that own vending machine warehouses and stuff. We was doing business with very, very shady people. So make sure you read reviews and comments and go off of you know, a gut feeling, and try to, you know, use your brain when it comes to this type of stuff, because people will feel like because you're new to this business, not even just vending machines, business in general, since you're new, they're going to want to one-up you. They're going to want to tell you some stuff that, or do some things that's just retarded, okay? So the very first vending machine, not the one that I told you guys about that happened a couple years ago, the one I had bought with my boyfriend, that one was new. And they both had LED lights on the inside. They looked very, very nice, like clean, everything. And we had bought it from a warehouse, merchandise or whatever. So somebody that sells hella vending machines, like over 50, 100 of them in their warehouse. And a lot of very known vending machine owners on YouTube went to the same person that we got our vending machines from, because he's really, really known, like very, very famous on YouTube. And finding a location is extremely hard. That's why we paid for somebody to get us a location. But unfortunately, he scammed us, because he was not getting us good locations, and he was getting us locations that was far as fuck from the house. And when we were going to go meet with people, they were telling us that we need to sell stuff for $1.50, stuff like that. So we wasn't making no profit. Overall, his locations was boo-boo, you know, so we had to go out and go find locations on our own. If you are a business owner or any type of vending machine owner, just know finding locations is very hard, and most of the time you have to pay for it. And the first location that we had got, the first 2 locations we had got was actually free. But since our warehouse person wanted to bullshit, it didn't work out like that. You know, we lost them 2 locations. So boom, we had went and bought 2 locations from a location agent. So basically they're gonna find locations for you. And we had paid $400 for our very first location, which was boo-boo. Like not us paying the $400, but us having it in that place, you know. The second place that we paid for, I think, was $450 as well. And it can go up, because a lot of people were probably telling me, like, why did you quit if you could have got a better location? Y'all don't realize that having your vending machine in hotels, having your vending machine in apartment complexes, having your vending machine in like very, very good warehouses like Amazon warehouse or something like that, that costs $1,000 to get that location. And I think a lot of people fail to realize that. They think getting a location for vending machines is free. It's only free if you got connections. Okay. Other than that, more than likely, you're going to have to pay a fee when you first get the location, or you're going to have to pay a percentage of the money that you make from your vending machine to the owner. It is what it is. I don't make the rules. And I feel like finding a location is the hardest part that people don't say, because you literally have to search and search and search. You have to, and it's not no regular search. Like, you really gonna have to find, you really got to cold call, email, go up in person, stuff like that. So if you're not an extrovert like that, if you don't know how to talk to people in a business type of way, or a business mindset, or mature, you're not going to be doing well in businesses. And we got rejected a lot, I'm not gonna lie, because people already had vending machines in their location, or they just didn't want to have vending machines. I would say it took us about maybe 3 months to find a location. And when you're restocking, the reality is kind of different from when you're watching a video. You think it's easy and simple and stuff like that. And when you keep doing it, it's gonna be tedious. You're gonna hate doing it consistently, especially if you have a vending machine that makes a lot of fucking money. If a vending machine makes a lot of money, that means it's more prone to being sold out more. Do you get what I'm saying? So if it's sold out more, that means you have to constantly keep going up there to restock it. And I hated that shit, because I hated going up there once every 3 days and stuff like that. I loved going there once a week or something like that, but once every 2 days, 3 days is gonna start to become a hassle, you know, with your personal life. And then with spending so much money on snacks, you spend probably $400 or $500 on snacks and drinks alone combined. And then don't forget, you bringing all that stuff into the place where your vending machine is, that you're gonna bring all that stuff in. I'm lucky I had a business partner. I'm lucky that I had equipment to bring all my stuff in and to fix it and move it around. Same with moving a vending machine. You can't do that shit by yourself. You can't go to Home Depot and think that you can get a truck or U-Haul, get a truck and get a dolly and do that shit. No, you need professional movers, because you doing that shit yourself, I promise you're going to fuck up. Especially since nowadays they don't tell you what legit type of equipment that you need, because if you don't have a truck and you don't have a certain type of equipment to pick up the vending machine and to bring it there, or a lift gate on the truck, a bunch of different things, you are fried. And that's what happened to me multiple times. Like with me and my boyfriend, we tried to do it ourselves with the U-Haul truck and with getting a pallet jack from Home Depot, and that shit did not work. We even got them little strings that you tie around big objects and stuff like that. That shit did not work. It fell face forward. And a lot of people fail to realize the startup cost. So if you want a new machine, it's going to be over $5,000 for maybe 1 or 2. Even for me, that's why it was so high, because we got new machines, you know. And when it comes to like the products in the machine, like I said, that costs a lot of money. Even with you having to have vending machine labels, you got to find somewhere. You got to purchase vending machine labels to put them on the vending machine so people can press buttons, like the numbers. You got to pay for the numbers. So when somebody's saying $2.50 for some chips, you pay for that, you know. So you're paying for the numbers, the stickers, and then also like in the drink machine, when somebody's pressing a button, you pay for them labels. You know, also if you got a wrap for your machine, you might have to pay for new stuff for the machine. For example, you might have to pay for coils. You may have to pay for a new coin mechanism. We had to pay for a coin mechanism. You know, that was $200 taken out of our pocket. We had to pay for two different times. You know, even a compressor, we had to pay $600 for a compressor in the drink machine. Okay, so we had to pay for a lot of different problems that was going on with the machine, technical difficulties. And if you're the type of person where you don't really know shit about this business, you don't know how to fix it, like when it comes to the mechanical problems, I would definitely recommend you finding another career to get into, or I would recommend you finding somebody you could pay to come help you, because we actually found a technician to come to the vending machines. Most of the time he would come the same day when we called him, and every single time his fee was $250 or $300. So that was literally getting took out of our pocket, because most of the time, I would say 90% of the time when we went to go visit the machine, something was always broken. And sometimes it was beyond us. You feel me? A lot of the stuff was broken because, like I said, the shady people that we did get the vending machines from, they switched out our vending machines that we originally paid for and got us used machines that were halfway broken. So some of the stuff in the machines was already messed up the first day we brought them in a location. So we had to fix that for the past month or 2 months after that. We had to deal with them problems. And then also you got to deal with customers, people fucking up the machine. Some people will try to break the machine, rock the machine, kick the machine. We even had an incident where somebody literally put pennies in the machine to where it got stuck twice. Not once, but twice. Why would you put pennies in the vending machine and nothing is worth a cent or even 10 cents? Everything in our vending machine was $1.50 and up. There's no way you was trying to put $1 worth of pennies up in a vending machine. So people are literally illiterate. Like, I just don't get it. And then, like, there was a couple times we had walked back to the vending machine and the chips weren't on the coil. So we're just like, what the fuck? Somebody must have shook the machine, because how the fuck is the chips halfway off the coil, but it's not all the way, it didn't fall all the way. So something must have happened where people was hitting it or some type of shit like that. And that's why it probably was having a lot of issues because of that too. And then a lot of people don't know how much a card reader costs. One card reader alone is $400. We pay for 2 card readers, that's $800. Then you have to pay for insurance. If you want vending machine insurance, which we have because we didn't want nobody to try to sue us, saying, oh, your machine fell on us, oh, this, that, and the third, you know, they can't sue you for shit. So we was paying $150 a month for vending machine insurance, you know. And then also we had to pay a monthly service fee, because when you do have a card reader and stuff like that, you have to pay $10 a month to have that. Yeah. And then also for you to have an LLC, because we have to have a business bank account for you to even connect to the card reader. So if your card reader, if you buy card readers and you have no business bank account, it will not work. You have to have a business bank account for your card readers and your vending machine to connect to your money. So we had to open up a business bank account, which we had to put $200 in. And we also had to pay for LLC, that was $350. And we also had a lawyer, an agent that we had to pay for every single month, which was $10, because the original fee for the agent was an extra, I think, $100 or whatever when we first started using her. So they helped us with filing stuff and any classified documents, anything that needed to be sent to the state or whatever the case may be, any legal problems or anything, they would take care of it. We wouldn't have to do all that shit, like contracts and all that shit. So that was a pro. But what people don't understand is how much money we spent overall just to do the vending machine process. You know, a lot of people will sit here and think that you're broke or all this type of stuff, and you really out here hustling. You're really out here trying to have a business, and people don't understand that having a business is not peaches and creams, and it's a lot of money that goes behind a lot of these businesses. This business is not like a Shopify business. It's not like a regular bit. Like some of these people businesses, even if it's a business from home, like some people do dog boarding and stuff, you don't need as much equipment. You don't need, a technician. You don't need insurance. Some people don't even get licenses or LLCs for that stuff. So y'all are not spending as much money compared to how much we spent altogether. I think we spent altogether, because we actually added that shit up a couple months ago, I think it was $10,000 or $12,000 all together. In the span of a year, it was how much we spent on that vending machine. We bought the vending machine in June 2024, and we sold the vending machine in, I think it was May 2025. So we currently don't have the machine anymore, but it was close to us having it for a year. But he wanted to get out of it because he didn't like it, because he felt like our process was kind of fucked up in the beginning, because we was doing business with shady people that wanted to scam us. So I feel like if we had the regular machines that we had bought from the beginning, it wouldn't have been so many problems to where he would want to quit, and it wouldn't be so much of a hassle as well with us spending so much money on maintenance for that hoe. You feel me? If we had got the new machines, we wouldn't have to deal with spending money on maintenance. We would have more money in our pocket, and we wouldn't have dealt with a lot of problems. And people don't realize when your machine is always messing up, and when stuff is always out of stock, people are not going to want to trust you. They're not going to want to buy from your machine anymore. So I would say you got to be smart with it too. And what I do differently if I was to redo, get into the vending machine process, was to study people before I buy a machine. Number one. Number two, some machines are not worth the price, and I feel like we overly paid for the 2 machines that we did purchase in the beginning. Third thing, I would say, well, we were selling the right snacks. I'm not gonna lie. We had Sam's Club and a Costco membership. We still have a Sam's Club membership to this day because we use it for our house and stuff like that. But yeah, so I would say that we did everything kind of right. We had contracts, we got the insurance, we got the LLC, we got the business bank account. He put the card readers in himself, a lot of other things, we helped fix the inside of the machine, and we got all the popular snacks and drinks and stuff. We was trying, so I don't feel like necessarily it was 100% us. I feel like it was actually things and other people that didn't want us to win, if that makes sense. And that just wasn't our calling. If that shit happened, that means that was probably meant to happen, Our contracts with the locations, we didn't have to pay no fee, so no money was given to them from our machine or anything. That's why I said, I wouldn't have changed a lot of stuff, because our contracts was A1, our agent was A1, our insurance was A1, our snacks in there was A1, and we had all these memberships. We always had gas in our cars to go to a place and stuff like that. We had 9-to-5s and stuff. That was the only problem, was that sometimes it would interfere with a 9-to-5. Me and him would both be working, or we'd be asleep, because sometimes we work overnight, so we'd be asleep throughout the day. And sometimes, sometimes I don't work overnight. Sometimes I work throughout the day. But, sometimes it would interfere with going to go check on the vending machine, because sometimes they would text us, the managers at the place would text us and tell us what problems is happening, and we couldn't get up and go that day, So if you're thinking about starting a vending machine business, or a business relatively similar to vending machines, I don't care if it's arcade games, I don't care if it's an ATM machine, understand that it's not a get rich fast scheme. Okay, you're going to be dealing with heavy machines that you probably know nothing about, that don't come with manuals. You're going to be dealing with possibly people stealing from you and scamming you. You're going to deal with a lot of expired snacks, because some people are not going to want them snacks anymore. You may put a snack up in there, and it may have sold out the first time, then you restock it. Now all of a sudden they ain't buying it no more. And that's what we had dealt with a lot. We literally wasted a lot of money on food that we didn't even sell, so we would be eating it ourselves, or it'd already be expired, Not gonna lie, that was the pro though. The fact that we always had food. So if we didn't have food in the house, we could always eat our vending machine snacks. But if you really want to make money in this business, like I said, watch who you're doing business with, watch what type of machines that you get, and the location. That's what it mainly depends on. And I would say as well, you're not going to be balling off of 1, 2, 3, 4 machines. If you want to be making $50,000 a month, there's this dude that I watched on YouTube for a very long time. I watched him for 3 years straight on vending machines. His name is Janie Ibanez. I think that's how you say his name. But that was the dude that my warehouse person, the person that was giving us machines, he knew, and he gives vending machines to him too. And he got I think over 100K on YouTube. He makes $50,000 to $80,000 a month just off of his vending machines, and it's because he has 45 and 50 vending machines. And he has a girlfriend. Well, he's married to her now and stuff like that. So they both help and stuff like that. And he's living in the house. He got a nice car, this, that, and the third. So that was what me and my boyfriend were trying to reach. We're trying to reach that level up to where we can have at least 20 vending machines and be making at least 10 bands or something like that. But it's just so much money behind it, and even time, that we don't have, So we were just we cannot do this, Like I said, you have to be a talker in this industry. You have to research a lot in this industry. If not, you're gonna fail. Same with ATM business, and same with anything that's a little bit relatively similar. If you want an arcade, if you want to have your own arcade machine business and stuff like that, or gumball machine business, be smart and be strategic about it. Okay, do a lot of research, because most of the stuff that we dealt with as vending machine owners, it was not online. So be smart out here, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. If you own vending machines or any one of these machines, let me know down below how much you make a month and how was your journey, and are you still a business owner? Bye.